I have to remind them, though, that when we negotiated to make sure that there were some limits on nuclear testing with the Soviet Union, the evil empire, with missiles trained on us so that people were crawling under, school kids were crawling under tables.
You're freaking me out right now.
Well, the folks tend to forget that, but that posed a much greater threat.
With Miranda Kahn, J.D. Hayworth back with you on Newsmax Prime. President Obama last night on The Daily Show on Comedy Central, comparing his deal with Iran to the deal made years ago with the former Soviet Union.
Yeah, meanwhile, there are growing calls from both Republicans and Democrats for the U.S. to simply walk away from this deal.
To talk more about it, we welcome in retired United States Army General Paul Vallely. He joins us from Newsmax, New York. He's also the chairman of Stand Up America. Paul, it's great to have you here. We just heard our president compare this proposed deal with Iran to what went on way back in the day with the Soviet Union. Do you agree in any way, shape, fashion, or form with his reasoning on that?
Well, there's no sense of even being comparable, and it's like comparing Obama to Ronald Reagan. There's such a disparity there. But no, it's a complete different set of circumstances. Here we are in the year 2015, and this national call to action to stop this Iran deal is what we're in Manhattan for today.
Yeah, and speaking of that, earlier today, Ash Carter met with Saudi Arabia's King Salman in an effort to convince our allies about the benefits, though, of the Iran nuclear deal. I know you're there to prevent it from happening, but do you see any benefits to it whatsoever?
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits for Iran, but not for America. This is, again, a disaster. It's going to be a disaster for the Middle East. And if you look, Miranda, you've got Iran, Russia, China, the State Department, and the White House supporting this deal. Now, what does that tell you? That's a little suspect in my eyes, in my opinion, right there. But this is not a good deal for anybody. You can't trust the Iranians, and it's to their advantage, not the advantage of anybody else in the Middle East or the United States. Before we get to what transpired in New York, I want to talk about Ash Carter again going to see the Saudis. Is that meeting enough to keep Saudi Arabia from pursuing its own nukes? No, it's not. Saudi Arabia has already taken a position. I think we did a show last year after my visit with General al-Sisi in Egypt when Saudi Arabia came out in support of al-Sisi against the Muslim Brotherhood. So the Saudis will listen, but they will turn a blind eye to Obama in the United States because they don't respect us anymore. And, of course, they're as worried as anybody over there about Iran, and they are not in support of the Iran deal, as many of the nations over there aren't. So this, again, is a moment in history, J.D. and Miranda, a moment for the Middle East, a moment for the world, and we have to take seriously that we have to stand up and prevent this deal from going through.
General, I want to ask you something else that the president brought up during that interview with Jon Stewart is he kept saying that no one is offering an alternative to the deal that he has presented. What's your reaction to that?
Well, there's been several alternatives. The first of all is no deal. That's a solution that we all believe in, as Bibi Netanyahu does in Israel, who is the prime target over there, with the United States being the next big target, the evil Satans of the world. And you have the leadership over there in Tehran, and you have people burning our flag and kill America. And we have to realize Iran is responsible for killing more Americans since the early 70s than any other country. So it's not acceptable at all in the eyes of people, Miranda, that understand the Middle East. And I've been over there 5 times in the last 2.5 years. And I can tell you this is not a good deal and should not be done.
And as we talk, we got about a minute left. The rally now in the books, thousands of people there at Times Square. What was the message you wanted to deliver at the Stop Iran Now rally?
Well, the words say it in itself, J.D. We have to stop this deal, and we cannot allow President Obama to bypass Congress in this. and to do a side deal with the United Nations. And as I said before, when the United Nations gets involved, then I'm very worried about the United States. And that's what we have to ensure. So we need to get the word out. We need our congressmen and senators. We need our governors. We need people to stand up, because Iran is not a friend of the United States. They will play us just as they have over these last years, and will not be able to guarantee or see or validate their nuclear weapons program. And I can tell you right now, they have a nuclear capability already in the launch systems, the guidance systems, and the warhead technology, and they've done all their testing with North Korea.
And that's a scary thing you just did, and we thank you for it. General Paul Vallely, you have our thanks.